so much for joining me on my program once again. I appreciate you wherever you're joining me from. I say good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Accept my greeting according to your time zone. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please kindly subscribe to my channel. Click the notification bell so that you'll be notified anytime I upload a video. You can be among the first to receive it. Then go to the comment section at all times. Leave your comment, drop your contribution. If you have suggestions, make it out there. If you have any criticism, put it down on the comment section. It will make us to get better, presenting you a better program. Thank you.
Something hidden. You don't go and hide on the keyboard and begin to type Biafra. Nobody can come and open up his mouth today and say Biafra is dead. The reactivation of Biafra happened fully. Biafra become a nation again. And I don't see why some people, they just narrow their own mind to a particular section. All you want us to begin to cause havoc. You want us to go Abuja, go and bomb Abuja, go to DS and bomb DS. Then you know that something is happening. But it doesn't happen that way. There are a series of things you have to do, procedures you have to follow to go to certain places. Some of them say that we take no election. That we take no election, but after we did not do anything. We did not go and do anything and then. And I asked them, are you sane at all? In that election, didn't you see the referendum that happened with that election? In an election that was conducted out of 20 million plus people, 20 million plus people who were ready to vote, who registered, but out of them, it was only 5 point something that voted. Yeah, 5 million or something that voted. Did it just happen overnight? Which referendum is more than that? And that is why I decided to play some of them who are saying that he says something, you don't do it. I want to play one of the voice of Mazen Nandekano in one of the explanation Mazen Nandekano made when we were accusing him of cancelling the election. Let us listen to that.
The black man came that we are doing this thing for selfish reasons. Our elders kept telling me one after the other. And I said, I want terms and conditions met. And we are. If I did not call off that very boycott, IPOB would have been dead by now. They will say, you know, they call me boy. They say that boy doesn't listen to anybody. We don't want anybody to fail and they will blame IPOB. That is how our people are. I understand them very well. I spent 15 years studying the psyche of an Igbo man. 15 years. If we did not call it off when I get by now, as simple as that. We wanted to if I ask for and on one occasion that asking me to do something I refuse, if I ask for them, that's how it is. We cannot afford to lose their goodwill. You are all Republicans. You say this is the first meeting I've ever seen when I ended the whole is true. I'm really ready to come in. I've not heard it before. I'm telling you honest with you. It's not happened before. I am being honest with you. It has never ever happened before. Will you be here if you don't follow this message which I preach? Will anybody force you to come? That is how we are. Everything I'm doing from today onwards, I will take the views of all of you here into account. Because I'm not doing it for myself. There are some things you can see which I cannot see. You know, when elders keep calling you, calling your family, I don't do something, I say that I must do it. You know what they used to say to me? This was what you took with it and you did. I said, oh my goodness. I listen to people. I keep saying to Radio Biafra, if I want the viewpoint, and your argument is superior to mine, I'll drop my own and I'll take your own. And in the fullness of time, 3.5 years, you will understand that us calling up the boycott accelerated the coming of Biafra. Thank you very much.
So I played this very voice for you to understand why certain decisions are being taken. Each time you hear a leader in this struggle take a decision, there are reasons why they take the decision they took. When you see Master Simon Ekpa is coming down with certain issues, he is not going on that violent side he wants him to go. He has a reason. Because it is the same people that we push you to go into that, they will be the same people that will blame you. Some are just pushing you into that for them to use it against you in time to come. It's just like when we were talking about this issue of election. Some people were expecting that the ESN will go out and enforce the no election. If the ESN has gone out to force the no election, by today, everybody will be crying. And they will say, it is because of IPOB, it is because of autopilot, it is because of Master Simon Ekpa. That was why P2B failed. Had it been that the ESN went out to enforce the no election, they will be crying openly and they will be pointing to Master Simon Ekpa directly and say, he is the one that stopped the P2B to fail. They will be accusing him of making P2B to fail. But today, you see the way it was done. It was done in such a way that the Biafran people on their own made their choice not to participate. Biafran people, millions of Biafrans made the choice by themselves without being forced. There was no place in Biafra land where you had a shot of gun. There's no place in Biafra where you had that the ESN were enforcing no election. But out of the 25 million, out of the 25 million that was supposed to vote, it was only 5 million 500 people that voted. 5.5 million we had people that voted. And almost 20 million could not vote. They didn't come out. On their own, not being forced. But had it been that the ESN came out to enforce this very situation, today the topic will be, and the politicians, they know how to hype those kind of agenda. They know how to hype it. They will use it to convince people. They will use it to win, so they use it to turn people to their own side, to begin to make people believe them that actually that it was Master Simon Ekpa who caused the failure of P2B, and now because of that they won't support him. You see, but Master Simon Ekpa, just as the same thing Master Nnamdi Kanu did, that made Master Nnamdi Kanu, in order to win the soul of the Biafran people, he told them, he lifted the election. He lifted it. He lifted it. And even when he lifted it, still P2B and this man failed. I can't see the request. I can't see your request. Resend the request again. I can't see any request here, please. Maybe they have now blocked it. I can't see any request. So that was why, you see, that's why when I say people blaming, I don't know where they are getting those blame from. Anybody that is blaming Master Simon Ekpa today, it means it's either you just joined the struggle yesterday or you are not paying attention. But if you are one of those who have been following Master Nnamdi Kanu, like those of us who have been following Master Nnamdi since 2015 up to this moment, if you have been there following Master Nnamdi Kanu from 2015 up to that, you have no reason to blame Master Simon Ekpa in any action he's taking today. He is on point, online. He is the true disciple of Master Nnamdi Kanu, following the strategies, following that same template of Master Nnamdi Kanu. You had the audio that I played. The audio, it was Master Nnamdi Kanu explaining why he called off the election. It was for the sake of the Biafran people, to win their heart. Because we are Republican in nature. You give me, I give back to you. If you don't listen to them, once they begin to feel that you are imposing something on them, once Biafran begin to feel that you are forcing them, you are imposing on them, you lose their support. You lose their support. The same template is what Master Simon Ekpa is following. I'm telling you that had it been that the ESN came out to enforce the no election, had it been that ESN came out to enforce no election during that election period, by today, everybody will be blaming Master Simon Ekpa for the failure of P2B. Everybody Every Biafran will believe, and the politicians will hype it. The politicians will preach it. Their celebrities will preach it. They will say it is IPOB. It is IPOB. It is the autopilot. They are the one who made POB to fail. But we did it in such a way that people, by their own self, willingly conducted the referendum within themselves, and they refused to come out. Only 5.something million came out of 25 million that were eligible voters. Out of 25 million, only 5.5 that came out to vote. A strong referendum without any enforcement. People on their own. People on their own took their decision. I can't see the request. I can't see the request. I think they have blocked it again. Maybe they have blocked the request. I can't see the request. So there was nothing of that. There was no enforcement. And today, do you see how it ended? Today, after that election, people went on their own way. There was no place you had that ESM was making an operation during that time. The most peaceful part of the zoo was Biafra land during that election period. And at the end of the day, you saw what happened. You saw that they still rigged the election in his head. They rigged the election in such a way that is so shameful and painful to him. They rigged it in such a way that even a deaf and dumb will know that the election is rigged. They rigged it in a very shameless way, without respect, in a very disrespectful way. That was how the election was rigged. And today, that rigging of election, one soul. Many Biafrans were converted because of that election period. Many Biafrans were forced to support Biafra today. They were converted. The people that are still now standing in between are these criminal politicians who only agenda is to enslave us. They are the only people today that are still hanging in between. Every genuine Biafran today have finally come to the conclusion that the zoo has ended and they are not wanted in any part of that contraption. It is now very clear. Since we have been preaching it, we have been saying it, we have been speaking about it, they don't believe it. But after this election, every genuine Biafran that can tell him or herself the truth knows that he or she is not wanted in Nigeria. It is now confirmed that they are not wanted. So our job is very easy. Anybody you see today campaigning and talking about one Nigeria, you don't bother yourself. These are the criminals who can only survive in a fraudulent country. These are people who are only trying to cover their evil. And that is why our Prime Minister of Biafra Republic in exile, Master Simon Ekpa, have said that we are going to cast a vote of no confidence against them, which has already started. If you have not casted your own vote, go to the platform of our spokesperson, Master Simon Ekpa. Go to his Twitter handle. Go to his Twitter handle and cast your own vote. Go to his Twitter handle and cast your own vote. If you have not casted your own vote, go to his Twitter handle and cast your own vote. That vote is a vote. We will conclude the vote of no confidence on them by 29th of this month. I told you a lot of things is going to happen this month. So many things are going to happen. All you got to do is to key in, follow it step by step, stage by step. Stop running too fast and stop that blame game. Focus on the enemy. Bring out your own strategy on how to bring down the enemy. That should be what you be focused on. Focus on how to bring down the enemy. That should be where you channel your energy. Channel your energy on how to bring down the enemy. Make sure that they are not ahead of you. That should be where we focus on channel our energy. Exactly, Tiger Chika. Exactly. You are right. During the time of Shagari, Diko said it. They did their super rigging at that time. That same super rigging was what they repeated in this time of P2B. So this P2B own is even more than super rigging. This P2B own is an insulting rigging before the whole war brought daylight. And after rigging it, they are defending it in court. That is the most heartbreaking one. And yet, you see people coming out from right and center begin to talk trash. Every single thing that Master Simon Ekpa has spoken about, he stood on it. He followed it to the last. He said there will be no election, Biafra will not vote. He stood on it. He pursued it until the last minute. He pursued it, preached about it. We preached about it and preached about it and preached about it until the last minute. We never stepped back from it. And Biafra hearkened to it. It was not enforced. ESN never enforced any. There was no enforcement. Without enforcement, we got Biafrans participated 80%. I say 25 million plus people, eligible voters, only 5.5 came out to vote. And that 5.5 they're telling us was hyped. That 5.5 they're telling us is plus the ones they rigged, the one they concocted by themselves. Because people that came out are not up to that. But let's give it to them. Let's give it to them. But had it been that we came out to enforce it, had it been that we came out to enforce the no election, the topic today would have been, oh, Master Samuel Ekpa on autopilot. They were the reason why P2B failed. They were the reason why they're already accusing Master Samuel Ekpa that he was paid by Tinubu. They were already accusing Master Samuel Ekpa of being paid by Tinubu to rig the election. Being paid by Tinubu. Then could you imagine if ESN has come out to enforce it, what will happen today? And you see is that some of us in Biafra are not getting the information. So many people who are not getting the right information, they would have bought into it. They would have bought into it, into that lie. That is why when you see our leaders take decision, don't just sit in your table or in your backyard and you begin to rant and begin to talk. I had there's one voicemail. I said I would have played that voice message, but it doesn't deserve playing. In that voice message I had, somebody was just saying, was even applauding former deputy, applauding the former deputy. That if it was the former deputy, that things would not be the way it is. If it was the former deputy, you would have done something. You are a madman. You don't know what you're talking about. That your former deputy, was he not there? How many years was he there? What did he do in his own name? Somebody was there trying to compare the former deputy with the present prime minister of Biafra Republic in exile, trying to compare them. That if it was the former deputy, he would have taken action. If it was telling us how the former deputy blocked the head bridge. Blocked the head bridge indeed. Do you know how many Biafrans lost their life in that very movement? And do you know the kind of backlash that the autopilot, the IPOB got from there? Do you know the backlash that IPOB got from that very thing? That is why I see, when I see certain people making certain points, if you don't have something to offer, you keep silent and just follow gradually. Follow gradually, you will begin to understand things. Just like Mazen Nandekano said in this very audio that I played. Mazen Nandekano says, certain decision he take, you will not understand it until you wait for, after 3 years, you begin to see why he did what he did. Mazen Nandekano made that statement in that very audio I played now. That when he take action, you wouldn't understand it until wait until after 3 years. Then you begin to see why he said what he said. Somebody came out. I just saw the audio. When I listened, I was just disappointed. And these are people who say they respect Master Simon Ekpa. They are members of Autopilot. They like what he's doing, but he's not taking action. He's just saying things. He has given this order. He did not carry it out. He gave order. There will be no election, and he allowed the election to hold. And he gave out 150 days, and he allowed 150 days to elapse. There's nothing he did. And if it was to be the former deputy, that's what I laughed. Look at the people. Look at somebody talking. This is how low some people can go. How low some people can go. Out of their envy, out of their greed, out of their jealousy, out of their foolishness. They cannot put themselves together. Put your heart together and reason properly. If you don't have something to say, there is no point saying it. Don't make those audios to disgrace yourself or to cause confusion. This same former deputy you are talking about, what did he achieve? Was there anything to his name? There was nothing he did to his name. Nothing. All he did. And he was saying in that time that even the Niger Delta, they took action. They were taking. Do you know how the action came from Niger Delta? In the time that we are in, do you know that we are facing much more difficulties than in those days? You are talking about that time. During that time, the Niger Delta people, the Niger Delta people, the people in the creek, during that time, the militants, in that time, the militants are not with the government. You are talking about 2015. During that time, the militant has not been penetrated by the government. The government are not in charge of the militant. And then the militant, they still have that freedom, urge to fight for freedom within them. Their Biafra-ness is still active. But look at, in this time that we're in, all the militant, except the BNL, most of the militant have been bought over. Except the BNL, most of the militants are now working directly with the government, being paid. And this 2015, even the man in the creek, then is still talking about Biafra. The man in the creek has not been bought over by the government. You are talking about 2015. During that time, the man in the creek is still sane. He's still a little bit sane. He still has something. He is still standing on freedom, the area of freedom. He's still sincere and truthful. And that was why the Niger Delta militants then were able to come into the action that time to talk about the freedom of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. They came into it. The Avengers spoke on behalf of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu during that time from Niger Delta. Because then they have not been penetrated. Today, most of their leaders today have been taken out. Those genuine ones. The Avengers, do you know the Avengers that the leaders have been murdered? All their leaders have been taken out. When they called them for negotiation in Abuja, they went to Abuja thinking they were going for negotiation. When they got there, most of them were murdered. They took them out. The few ones that remain today, they are now transacting directly with the federal government. You saw federal government giving them contract of pipeline. Gave them contract of pipeline. They are fighting over contract of pipeline today, and they have forgotten about their freedom. So the situation today and that of then is not the same. The situation today and then is not the same. So I don't see why somebody will begin to compare it and say, yeah, hey, this why is man Sam keeping silent? This person have died. They have killed this person. This one have lost his life. This one have lost his life. Why is he not taking action? He told us he do this one. He didn't do it. He did this one. He didn't do it. You must be insane. Everything you are saying to push us into premature action is a waste of time. And that is one of the reasons why I love our spokesperson, Master Sam, so much. You cannot force him to go in engagement prematurely. No. You can't force him to do things that are not right to do. You can't force him. No matter how you try with your propaganda and blackmail, you cannot change him. He is focused. Consistently focused on pursuing the agenda. The situation now and that of 2015 is not the same. It's not the same in any way, in any manner. It's not the same. In all angles, it's not the same. In this time that we're in, it is a different ball game. A different ball game. The nature of the kidnap is that time it was arrest. This time it's kidnap. The nature of the arrest is different. The stance of the IPOB then and now is not the same. The weight of IPOB now, then and now is not the same. IPOB now have more weight than then. That is why you see even the Janjaweed are fighting head on, fighting different angle. Then the militants then were not with the government. The militants have no time with the government then. They were still busy fighting seriously for freedom. Focused on pursuit of freedom then. The spirit of Biafra was in them. And their leaders then were still very much engaged. Even Tompolo today that is now working for the federal government. Tompolo you see today that is working for federal government. Then Tompolo doesn't see eye to eye with any federal government. After 2015, Tompolo has nothing to do with federal government. Including the man in the creek, Asra Dokobo. Asra Dokobo had nothing to do with federal government then. He was still talking about Biafra. At least in the open, he was still talking boldly about Biafra, even if he's doing something on the ground. But then, we have not seen them embracing the federal government openly. But in this time that we are in, you have seen all the militants embracing the federal government openly. Openly, they embrace the government. They give them contract, give them money. Look at Oslo giving contract of training militias to fight against the ESN.